Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a bit of a departure from Forza to talk about another racing game that's been taking up a lot of my time over the past few months since I got my Logitech G29 racing wheel, and have been playing around with more games that have good wheel support. When I made my first video with the G29, my setup was pretty basic, but we've now got a real deep dish wheel, a shifter, and some mods have been made to both to improve the feel and the force feedback. So let's go ahead and talk about Assetto Corsa. This game came out in 2014 and was marketed as a serious racing simulator along the lines of iRacing or Project Cars, and although I'll be focusing today on drifting, I don't want to discredit how great of an actual racing game this is. What sets Assetto Corsa apart to me is the phenomenal wheel support, VR support, and possibly most importantly, the very healthy modding scene, even today, almost 5 years past the game's release. Now this video isn't going to be a modding guide or anything, although if that is something you want, definitely let me know. This video is really meant to just be a showcase of the drifting scene in Assetto, which is just something I want to share with you guys because I have been having a blast with it, and if drifting interests you at all and you haven't heard of this yet, this is a game and experience you need to check out. Alright, so let's start with the cars. The default car list is pretty big but a bit lacking in most areas, and although there's no in-game customization outside of some color and livery options and some pretty in-depth tuning windows, like I mentioned earlier, the modding scene is huge and you can always find something you'll like. Most of the cars meant for drifting usually come already set up in full drift spec. You've got popular cars like this clean 180SX or an R32 Skyline, or more niche cars you just don't see in other games like the Verosa or the Nissan Laurel. And I've never seen another game able to replicate this level of drift build customization before. I mean, you've got painted roll cages, gutted interiors, gauge pods, window vinyls, custom steering wheels, and since the files are pretty easy to modify, things like swapping engines between cars yourself or just tweaking performance values is usually as easy as hitting copy and paste. Although it is worth mentioning that if you want to play online, you'll have to use whatever cars are accepted by the server, so lots of mod cars come in packs, with the most popular being Tando Buddies, LD2F, or Clutch Gang. The quality of modded cars definitely varies from pack to pack and even from car to car, but the fact that all these Japanese legends exist at all in the game is enough for me and just about everyone. And the sounds? Oh, the sounds are so good. I'm going to be quiet for a minute and just play a few clips of some of the better sounding cars in the game. So definitely no complaints there. Now let's go ahead and dive into how these cars handle. Since Assetto Corsa is a full-blown simulator, the depth and accuracy of the physics is seriously amazing. With a standard controller, you will not be able to enjoy what Assetto has to offer, but if you have even a more entry-level wheel like the G29 I have here, you will be amazed at how much these cars just straight up drive like real cars. A lot of guys I know who drift in real life practice in Assetto Corsa, and the coolest part, they can practice on our local track. This is US Air Raceway, the real track a few hours from me that has never been in a video game before and has essentially no global recognition, but with modding, it's here. This means I can take my real car and get actually valuable practice driving on my real local track, and that's just not something any other game can do. So let's talk about modded maps, because this, in my opinion, is the absolute best part of Assetto Corsa. If you can think of a place known for drifting, it's here. Ebisu? Of course, all here. Yamanashi, which is Noriyaro's home track? It's right here. Any one of the Formula Drift layouts? You bet they're all here. And it doesn't stop there. Ever heard of Mount Akina from Initial D? That's in the game. Even if you're into the old school underground drifting scene, all the famous street spots are here too. Here's some footage of some people driving Oi Wharf, an infamous street spot in Japan. And here's that same spot in the game. Dosojin, Usoi Pass, Otamaru, all these legendary locations can be traveled to, and you just have to wait for a loading screen. There's even a fictional, massive, sprawling mountain map that essentially turns the game into an open world like Forza Horizon. The ability to hop into VR with a sim wheel and travel between all these famous locations in any car you want is just, well, to a big drifting nerd like me, it's a serious dream come true. Now before I talk about the online experience, which is where everything really comes together, I do want to take a quick second just to address the graphics. You may be noticing that some of the footage, well, looks like it's from 2014, but I just want to throw in the disclaimer that I am playing on somewhat lower settings to keep the frame rate up in my VR headset, and it's also a bit tough to record in VR, and my setup involves recording only one eye, which means the recorded resolution takes a hit, even though the game looks pretty crisp in my headset. And that's not all. Modding support doesn't just cover cars and maps, there are extensive graphical and lighting mods that make this game really look like a AAA racing game that's not even out yet. So if the graphics I'm showing off have been a bit of a turnoff for you, don't worry, mods can definitely fix that. Finally, I want to talk about online. Assetto Corsa uses a server browser, which not many games do anymore, but I think perfectly fits the vibe of the AC drifting scene. Having player-hosted servers means little communities exist in each server, and you'll see familiar faces all the time, which reminds me a lot of going to real drift days. You see some familiar faces, meet up with your friends, and get to see new people around too. So once you've mastered the basics of drifting, I highly encourage you to hop online and meet people, tandem with them, and hop into some huge, sometimes very chaotic drift trains. This is really where the game hits its high point for me. Everyone has been super welcoming and friendly in the servers I've been in. People are always down to tandem with you or offer help if you need it, and there's just nothing else to me that matches the fun and excitement of going to a virtual drift event pretty much every night, except for maybe going to a real drift event. But hey, you don't have to buy new tires every time you drift in Assetto. I know there wasn't much of a point to this video, but I've been posting some Assetto Corsa content on my Instagram and talking about it in my Discord a bit, and just felt it was time to make a video to show everyone kind of what I've been up to these past few months when I'm not playing Forza. So if you want to see more Assetto stuff or just more wheel content in general in games like Forza or Dirt Rally, let me know. I've been finding a lot of reasons to keep taking this wheel out again and again, so I would be happy to make more videos with it. Thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully I'll see you someday on the track in Assetto, but if not, I'll see you in the next video.